Yo!
Yayo Talk Show!
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Molly.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Marco.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Katie.
Dreamin'!
Al's name didn't fit. They talk about the show, this group of four friends been going for 1,000,000 years, there's no end. Watching every arc and saga, no sleep. It's the king of anime, 1,000 episodes deep.
Yayo! 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 Talk show!
Talking about One Piece.
It's the name of the podcast.
We're not on Vine. Yayo Talk Show. Talking about
One Piece.
What's up, wenches, privateers, and non-binary buccaneers? Welcome aboard the most chaotic One Piece podcast on the Grand Line Internet. Okay, here's the plan. First, we tell the listeners about a completely legal way to watch One Piece film Gold. While they're distracted for the 2-hour runtime, that's when we all take our positions. First, Captain Molly, we're going to need you to distract by letting loose a stream of cursing that is going to be all off screen so that I don't have to censor it. Sound good?
Yes.
Then it's your turn, Caden. Using the powers of your Steppa on me devil fruit to incapacitate the security guards. Got it?
Got it.
Al, we're going to need your Laughborg abilities to quietly incorporate turns of phrase in the background, and while all of this is happening, to catch everyone off guard. Think you can manage?
I can't be put on the spot like this.
Good. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering, Bonesman, what are you going to do? It's simple. I'm going to blast Frankie's theme song from every available speaker and give everyone an existential crisis.
Oh, God.
We all have our jobs. If we do them well, then we're all going to walk away from today richer, but more importantly, we're going to get even closer as a crew, as a fleet, and as friends. Let's go! That was my intro. Did you like it?
Do you think he gets paid more for this?
God, I wish. Hey, in case you didn't get it, we're talking about One Piece Film Gold today.
This is why we can never stick to a script. Just immediately, the second you start doing it, I couldn't stop laughing.
Well, I also can't stick to a script because I can't read. But other than that,
welcome to the voice actor's curse. We can't read and we can't talk. We have no idea what we're doing.
Welcome into the show, everybody. Thankfully, we're in the era of films where they're a little bit more readily accessible.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the movie yet and you're just listening in for the lulls, I think even without going into the movie very much, if you haven't seen this movie, go watch this movie. This was fun as hell.
Yeah.
And really just good. This is a great One Piece story, a great story with a lot of great elements. The Blu-ray and the DVD is super available. I'm sure you can stream this in multiple places.
You can. You absolutely can. I watched it on Amazon. It was easy to rent. And super accessible. This is one of the ones that absolutely is just available. You can get it on, I believe, the Microsoft Store and on Amazon. You can buy it and rent it.
Wow.
So there you are.
Absolutely
also,
do it.
Heist it.
I mean,
Go online.
legally,
Go to a legal way to purchase it. Rent it and say, we're in.
Here's the elaborate plan. We're going to rent the movie.
We're going to Google where we can watch it. We're going to Google where we can legally stream it. Yeah.
Goodness
At the same time.
Steal the popcorn, rent the movie.
There you go.
You got to stick it to Big Corn, everybody.
Especially if you're watching in America, absolutely.
Stick it to Big Corn, baby.
And I think, usually when we get to movies that we all generally like, we're not going to go beat by beat because there's a lot of stuff to enjoy, and we really want you to go watch this movie before listening to us talk about it. So we're just going to gush about this movie for however long and talk about some implications, where this would fit, blah blah blah, our normal bullshit. You've listened to the show before, right?
Wait, what?
This is a show?
Hey, can I start this? Can I
would love
start this real quick?
Please.
Cool. You know somebody who's already in this movie, personally.
We know 2 people that are already in this movie personally.
Well, Well, yes. Well, not
And
all. Well, not
in the
not all.
same
Well, let me
scene.
rephrase. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You do. Let me rephrase. Every single one of us here knows at least one person. Sorry, Al. Personally, and most of us know at least two people, and one of us knows a lot more. But
Who
that's
could
not
it be?
who could it be?
Dot.
But
You're building a mystery.
We'll never tell.
Shout out to Brienne Olvera, who
Yay!
voices
Wait.
Kent Beef Jr. in this, and of
There are
course,
so many good names in this movie.
oh yeah,
Kent Beef Jr. is the best name in this movie.
and the other one,
And Porkable, yes.
as Molly so affectionately calls him, All Might's friend, Alejandro Saab. Jimmy Myers is the voice of Jimmy Myers in this film, so shout out, cuz. Yeah, the cast rules. Like the characters are really fun. Amber Lee Connors as Baccarat is amazing. What a great choice. Damon Mills is Tanaka, who rules.
Since we're talking about the cast, I would love to bring up our main villain, Guild Tesoro, who is voiced by in the original Japanese, voiced by Yamaji Kazuhiro, who is an absolute legend and does a lot of live action dubbing for Jason Statham, Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Sean Penn, Al Pacino, Willem Dafoe, Christoph Waltz, Benicio del Toro, Gary Oldman, Kevin Bacon, Viggo Mortensen, Nicolas Cage. Amazing. And if for whatever reason you've continued listening to the show without going back and watching the movie, he also plays Henry Henderson in Spy Family, the dude with the long gray hair, like the headmaster at the school. And I was hanging off of every word with amazing performance, commanded the screen every time he was on it. Remarkable performances.
I mean, like, what if you crossed the devil with Delvis, if you will.
Delvis, yeah. Delvis.
With Joe Pesci's hate of laughter.
and that's another thing. Like, what a great combination of like famous casino movie villains on top of it, and also generally capitalism. Like, there's so much like dense political
American themes in this one.
A lot, and it's so easy if you have no connection to the Straw Hat Pirates and you're just watching this movie in the theaters or at home or whatever, it is impossible not to immediately get on their side.
So if we're talking the OG Japanese voice, Yamaji Kazuhiro, great legend. And for the dub, the wonderful Keith Silverstein, who people might know as Speedwagon in JoJo, Zhongli in Genshin, Goshin in Beastars, and so many other things. He was Zack in Dead or Alive, Vector the Crocodile.
Vector the Crocodile.
Yes. He was Lupin in the Gamon's Blood Spray movie. He was also very appropriately, as far as Guild Tesoro and similar vibes, Chairman Rose in Pokemon Twilight Wings. And let's see, N in Dorohedoro. Like, he's so good.
Oh wait, that reminded me. You just reminded me.
He's also Dulcim now in Street Fighter.
Oh, that's great.
He's really great. So give him a look.
Yamaji also voiced another character in One Piece, and thankfully he had an opportunity to redeem himself.
Oh,
because he was the voice of Mr. Pink.
That's a. He's
like, hey, can I have a real part, please?
Yeah, Yamaji Kazuhiro is also Hit in DB Super. He rules. He's also all over the Yakuza series. He was Sid in Advent Children. I think and maybe I'm wrong. Mark, you might need to fact check me on this. I think he's the voice, the dub voice of Darth Maul. He's gonna check. He's checking.
I'm checking.
You can see him checking.
Forget about it.
Type in Darth Maul.
No, I'm not seeing it.
No, I'm right. And no, I'm double checking.
I did Control F on his Wikipedia page.
On his Wikipedia page? No, they don't keep that shit on Wikipedia. You know they don't.
But
can we say shit? Is that something we can do? Is that something I can do? Is that
am I allowed? In the back secret room, a gold dome.
Is that no, yeah. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Thank you, behindthevoiceactors.com. Darth Maul. Yo, thank you. What? I win. 10 points for me.
There's no
10 points for me. Yes, it is. We're gambling.
We're
in the casino.
I deserve my Robin laugh, Mark.
God, please help.
Where's my point?
We got so off the bloody rails. Let's talk about how much we love this movie.
Not until I get my 400 quatloos.
All right, then you can leave.
What's the American dollar ratio to whatever the hell Caden just said?
The dollar to quatloo ratio? You'll have to ask Star Trek.
Okay. Here I go. Calling up Mr. Star Trek. Yeah, I like this movie. I had seen it a long time ago. Like, I said the same thing about Z. Like, I feel like I had seen it a long time ago, and I just didn't enjoy it for what it was at the time. And had like a similar like, oh, like with Zero, I was like, oh, actually, this movie like is amazing. Like, I greatly enjoyed myself. I'm a huge fan of heist movies. There are a lot of really fun things in this movie that I just did not remember. Like, I did not remember that Sabo and Rob Lucci was in it, that Spandam was in it, the noodle guy from Water 7 was in it. Like, there are a lot of like random cameos I just didn't pick up the first time around. I don't know if I watched like a really crappy quality or something originally, but yeah, there were just so many, like, also just like so many American references I guess I just didn't care about originally. Like the guy chewing the gum obnoxiously. I was just like, it was that Marge meme where I'm like hiding my face. Like, it was just like, felt like really getting called out, you know? But there are a lot of like really fun like Oda designs in this one. I felt like even like just the race car scene has so many just ridiculous, like
the turtle shuttles.
All right, everybody has to have a different aesthetic during this race. Which ones we're gonna go for? Okay, an American farmer.
I love the tattoo of beef.
Yeah.
Yes.
Arms.
Label his own name.
Well, I also love that his like bold companion, his name is Pork. Like,
who is a giant cow.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't want there to be any confusion because he's beef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Listen, I was just like, he's really throwing him off there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like all of the people in that. I felt like there was an homage to, which I'm sure is already a homage to something else, but it was like Animaniacs, like doctor and nurse situation.
Yeah.
There was like a guy who seemed like he was a villain from like Wacky Racers.
The Marines in their long Rolls Royce with 12 wheels that can't turn.
Oh, that too. The villains in the beginning, the long pirates, really got a laugh out of me.
I loved the Marine who's just like, it's what was it like? It's like it's something straight. It's like
he's too big for his coat, so he tattooed like justice on his back.
Yeah, it's like he's just like, yeah, he's like straight. It's like, oh, so like he hates anything. Literally, it's like he hates anything twisted. And it's just like, okay, my brain would not let the joke go, and it's just like, the token cishet. And so it's like no, and then literally they got to the turn and then he refused to turn. It's like, oh, they mean that literally. Just drove off. I'm like, okay, that's hilarious. It's straight or nothing. It's like, yeah, what was his name? Something straight. Did they say his rank?
It's just like straight.
Officer Straight?
Yeah,
it's just straight. Chief Petty Officer Straight.
Yeah,
CPO straight. That's the last thing you want to be.
About being straight.
The last thing you want to be is petty and straight. I'm sorry.
Terrible combination.
It's a bad combo.
This movie was filled with so many great character designs. We had Ray's Max. We had, of course,
I loved
so
Ray's Max.
good.
What a great, first of all, what a
Oh my
great
God.
name.
Mhm.
What a great name. And what a fun little like character intro. And like,
I wanted to ask, since we got our trivia fact checker over here, was he gotta have been a reference to something that I'm not grabbing?
I mean, there's usually just a they any of the older people from like the older generation are usually like based off of an actor, but the only thing that was giving me any sort of vibes from him is he reminded me of a character from Fairy Tale. Like that was really it. But I don't know if I can't find anything of him being a specific reference to anybody, but just like a super lucky professional gambler like losing it at a place like that seems like something that would fit.
I love the name Ray's Max. It's just so on point. It's very, first of all, it's very One Piece. And the fact that he's like, it's like, oh yeah, Revolutionary Army member Ray's Max. It's like, yeah, I joined the famous gambler turned tattoo. Yeah, it's so funny. Just so funny. Loved the design, loved the character. Just such a cool little moment.
His weird walking in the beginning really got me, and his character.
It was forever to get to them to have the conversation.
Shocking, absolutely nobody. I loved Baccarat a lot.
And you have to remind me who that was. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
she's kind of mean.
She was the one who was kind of mean. She was the kind of mean one. Just letting you know that.
And I mean, like in watching any being like so deeply submerged in all things One Piece as we are. I can't. Would like to feel that everybody was picking up on everything like right away. Like instantly, I was like, okay, I know that this is his gimmick. There's gold everywhere, which means he controls the blah blah blah. He controls the whole city. I mean, even if you just know heist movies and go, oh, they're treating them as VIPs and giving them money on the house, they're going to lose everything and blah, blah, blah. Like, but even despite all of that, because this was One Piece, we got to do it with some of our favorite characters and some amazing new characters. We talked about Tanaka. We haven't talked about Dice yet. And I'm wondering if...
Why not?
Anybody? Well, just because we haven't yet, and now here we are.
Though, isn't he he's the gum chewer?
Okay, so
he is the gum chewer. That's right.
So yes, sometimes some people, some days, sometimes a couple get together and they like sausage and macaroni.
All right, Al, go ahead.
Can we not talk about this, but instead talk about sadomasochism? Is what Molly's saying.
Molly's like,
right
about the sausage and macaroni.
I don't want to know what the outcome of that conversation is.
I'm mostly asking for a clarifying question. That he is a masochist, right? Someone who enjoys pain. And a sadist is someone who enjoys dealing pain. Is that what it is?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Like Markiplier is an extrem masochist.
Okay.
If this
Aren't
guy
we all? Unless
and
we're
the
not.
lady from Impel Down, was her name Sadie Sadist?
Yeah, Sadie.
If they meet up, perfect couple.
Couple.
I loved the fact that like immediately was like, it's literally Frankie's fight with Dice was just like, oh, so you're just a pervert.
It's so funny though, because this is supposed to be after Dressrosa, and I was like, can you give Frankie like a 5-minute breather, dude? Like, why does Frankie always gonna get teamed up with these types of guys?
He's always so busy.
Listen, Frankie's got to show them what the opposite of toxic masculinity is. That's the whole thing.
You can be a freak and be a nice guy. You know what I'm saying?
you can be a freak built like a freak and own that. And also be a good person.
Frankie.
Yeah.
Freak of the meek.
Freak of the meek.
As you keep that stuff to yourself. I
guess to boil down Dice as a character, he was apparently in like a fight to the death gladiator arena working for Guild, but ended up getting bored because he would always win. And so his solution to that was to be his head dealer of the craps table, I guess.
That could have been a nod to Dressrosa, since that like he clearly had dealings. Gold clearly had dealings with Doflamingo previously,
for sure.
So I wonder.
But he now spends his days headbutting a giant Yahtzee cup
while holding an axe because it makes him feel strong.
That bit
Yahtzee.
was funny. We're like everybody
What
was
is the
so
axe
impressed.
even for?
Yeah, Brooke was the only one questioning. Like he's like, "There's more to this. What was the axe for?" Like that.
That's another thing too about this movie is ridiculously funny.
Mhm.
And gives proper like time for breaks. You get the intensity of the possibility of somebody dying, or the fight going to like a bitter end, and the citizens of Tesoro just like not, all dying despite trying to fight for their freedom. And
Waist
then
deep in gold.
and then
The
you
movies
have
are starting to get longer
everybody
now too.
slipping on a banana peel.
Mhm.
Which was when Luffy first got all of his luck taken away, that whole sequence of just pratfalls and comedy, I was like, I'm going to like this movie even more. And for a 2-hour movie, this to me like sped by. The pacing was super on point. It told the stories that it needed to tell, introduced what it needed to do. We got into the quote big reveal super early. And because of how far we are in the story, we don't need to dwell a super long time on like villain backstory. Whereas like Film Z was essentially slowly bringing out Zed's backstory throughout the whole movie until you feel sympathetic for him at the end, or you're supposed to feel sympathetic for him at the end. This was, at least for me, I saw the giant star on Guild's back and went, all right, I know where he came from.
Yep.
Yeah.
And his backstory was shown in really quick flashbacks, but because we're already familiar with that imagery, or even if you're not familiar with that imagery, you know exactly what you need. You just get a little bit more if you are familiar with the story of One Piece. And I felt like they handled that enough. He was enough of a bad guy that you saw present day, that you didn't need this extended backstory in order to like, there's no sympathy for him to me.
If you watch
The thing is like it's one of those things where honestly this whole plot reads to me like you either die the hero or live long enough to be the villain, and this guy basically learned the wrong lesson from everything. Is like, okay, cool, so only the elite are going to get ahead. And so he basically, like, when he got his devil fruit power, is like, okay, cool, I'm going to make it my business to do exactly what other people did to me. And it's like, cool, you've learned nothing. And it's just like, all right, like, it sucks that you had a bad past, but, like, you're currently just the worst. So,
Hashtag the worst.
gotta go by.
I feel like that's a theme, though, in a lot of American movies where it's like, you become like you become the thing you hate your most, but you also become the guy who's on top of everybody else, stepping down on them. Like that is, I feel like, a very American theme.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which is why this takes place in floating Las Vegas. And the thing is, and Mark, may I take over for a minute?
You're right, taking over. Go
I'm
for
not.
it.
You had the floor.
Okay, cool. I'm asking permission. As somebody who grew up in Vegas for I guess half of my life. Half? I'm counting. Yeah, half of my life.
Yeah, you thought you escaped. Now we brought it back. With film gold.
Like Mark and I were talking as I was watching the movie, and it was like, okay, cool. Like this is just Vegas, and it's like it's got some Monaco vibes to it, and there's definitely some imagery there. But the city itself is 1-to-1. Like you literally see the downtown area, which is 1-to-1 the Fremont Street experience. It's almost exactly, even down to the casinos that are in there. And then you get to the downtown area, and it's very like here everything is like
even on the roads. It's got these like the split little dividers that have trees and bushes and shrubs and all that stuff.
It's pretty much just Vegas. So if you've ever wanted to go to Vegas, don't just watch this movie and you'll get a better experience. Plus it's One Piece. But like it was really cool to like, I guess it was really cool to see something so many times in movies you see something based on Vegas and they like haha tongue in cheek it. It's amazing how accurate they got while still making everything feel One Piece. It was really cool.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's it. Molly, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say there was a shot of when Luffy and Frankie, before they do their part of the plan, where it almost looks like, just because I keep referencing it, but like Ocean's 11, like I think it's in front of the Bellagio, the fountain,
Mhm.
where there's a scene where like Luffy's right in front of that fountain, and it's almost like shot for shot, like from Ocean's 11, or like in front of the fountain or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The
It's really
Bellagio.
cool.
Yeah, I think it's the Bellagio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
the
the
Bellagio.
fountains.
The belly, no.
The Bellagio.
No, you should have stuck the landing. That was good.
I
Yeah,
can
no,
do
that
it.
was good.
do
Bellagio. We'll
it.
give it to you.
Thanks.
This is the first One Piece movie that felt like it was about Nami, and I really liked that.
And especially like with of the movies that we've talked about, Nami is like finally an active participant and not somebody reacting to something happening to her.
Yes.
Like Film Z, something happens to her and she reacts in kind. In
Strong
Z,
worlds.
something happens to her and she reacts in kind. But in this was Nami's movie to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope so. She's the cat burglar. Like, it's a heist movie.
Yeah.
To
I
some
would've-
extent,
Go ahead, Al.
to some extent, she still reacts, but this time her confidence is way higher than she's normally been treated before.
This is her wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also where and it's like it becomes plot relevant to her because we meet somebody who has never been introduced before but is now introduced as Karina, who is somebody that Nami used to work with, voiced by Michelle Nance, who's really fucking cool. Sorry, I swore. I'm sorry.
You keep doing it though.
Well, you know what?
I'm the
You know,
good
it's like
kid today.
I'm taking over for Molly because Molly had all those swears in the beginning that was off screen for the sake of, it's like the distraction. Now I have to.
I'd like to imagine that she's still doing it. She just is muting herself and just dropping
I didn't
F-bombs.
say dick today.
Damn.
Well, you didn't
Molly,
say it
it's been
once.
established that you can say that
I know. That's why I said it. It's a
because
safe
you yelled
word.
at me.
It's
Last
no, it's
Thanksgiving.
fine. No, I feel bad
Give me
that
my
the homework
heart.
I did last week, it's like a couple F-bombs slipped through my fingers, and people noticed. So I have to be very good this episode.
But
You should.
this was really, really cool to see like a little bit more of like a bit. It was nice to see Nami in her own wheelhouse, and it was nice to see. Honestly, I really liked a lot of like how Karina and Nami interacted with each other. I also really liked the scene where Kaneda basically distracted the wordplay. It's like, it's so big, and then there's just like, yeah, it is. It's like it was really funny to see them all be those guys be really dumb. And it's like, yeah, okay. So it's like, yeah, played them really easy, really, really, really
God.
simple to just like
He-
flaunt a little cleavage, and then the dumb guards are going to be dumb guards about it. And then she's just like, okay, cool, time to put on the cool outfit.
Amount of tit to butt ratio in this movie is definitely more than the previous movie. Like what's her name? The kind of mean girl.
Baccarat?
Baccarat.
Yeah.
It's like every time she was on screen, it would be a down shot of her chest first, and then it would go up to like what she was saying, like every single time.
Yeah,
and,
but
like,
it's Vegas, so like
the
that's
amount-
normal.
the amount of like shots where like Karina would run into a shot and it was just her butt. It was just like I should have
Yeah,
like
the reverse shots were.
It
there was
happened so many times.
Sometimes you just got the booties.
There was a specific moment that made me remind me of that was the timer was going down and they put the timer in the
Yep.
upper right corner of the screen and she runs in and her butt just covers up the timer exactly. It's like,
Mhm.
but how many seconds were left? It
This
doesn't matter. Look at
Doesn't
this.
matter.
This is
Yeah.
the only One Piece movie that I am going to say, all right, that's fine, because it's Vegas.
Yeah,
Because it's Vegas.
That's what I ended up saying to myself. I was like, well, it is Vegas.
There
It's
was a
Vegas.
really funny moment though where Gold got out of the bath and I realized like everyone's wearing bathing suits but him.
The
Mhm.
funny thing, okay, so
It's like,
I
we're about
called over.
to get to find out the will of
Just
D
like
in this
full,
movie.
yeah,
Oh,
full
yeah.
frontal on his security guy. I was like,
I-
whoa.
I called
Power.
Wisp over. I called Wisp over because I was watching. And I'm like, hold on, I got to go back. And I rewound. I'm like, watch the girl on the left because there's 3 girls in the bath with him. The two go and reach for towels and start toweling off his arms. The third backs away and makes eye line with his below the belt and just stares at it. It's like it is a 6-second shot of her just staring. It's like it's got to be impressive. Like it's got to be impressive. So it was pretty funny, and I'm just like, it was like it's like you can draw the line from her eyes to where his bahong dongler would be, and it's really funny.
You could say Dick Gated.
Yeah, but it's funnier to say that.
Yeah, Mark won't censor bahong dongler. I'm pretty sure.
Mark can't censor that.
I have to know what a word is.
Exactly. So you just listen.
It was such a juxtaposition between like I was like Spandam, like I hate him. Why is he in this movie? Like this guy sucks. And then like the next shot is him standing naked, and I was like, all right, I don't know how I feel about this anymore.
It's like, wow, okay, I'm proud of you, I guess. Like,
I also do appreciate the inclusion of CP0 and it not really meaning anything. Like it kind of does. I think it was more of a hype moment for Luffy to not remember who Spandam was.
That was the best part for me in that scene was he's like, well, whoever you are, and then looks over and it's like, oh, hey, I know that kid. It's like the fact that he remembered the kid that he only noticed for like 30 seconds and not Spandam, who he fought against, is really, 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 really funny.
I just find it so crazy. Like, without like spoiling anything for Caden, like Rob Lucci consistently shows up in these movies. Like, I think the next one is Stampede. And then even just watching Film Red, like there was like Lucci, you know what I mean? It's like, why does this guy keep showing up and not doing anything?
The world is watching the situation that happens in Red. That's not really
thirsty for Lucci.
People do love him. I don't like him.
They really like the big leopard guy.
I like totally forgot Saba was in this movie as well. I was surprised to see him and Koala.
It's because the scene with Saba is like 0.05 seconds long. It's like, there he is, and he's gone. In fact, Koala had more screen time.
Well, also when Karina like bumped into them in the downtown area, her disguise was Koala's outfit, and so I was just like, "Oh, it's Koala." Oh, wait, no, that's blue hair. Never mind.
There was another Sabo like reference in that like young kid who used a lead pipe to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was just jumped into frame.
And then all of the members or all of the citizens had gold pipes as well, and or had pipes. And I was like, "Oh, I guess that's just available."
Just how that works now.
Easy,
a symbol of revolution.
Easy to obtain. Yeah.
So can we talk about outfits for this movie?
I was trying to find a good transition, but F it. We're just going into it.
So my favorite Luffy.
I want to ask everybody who had their favorite fit in the movie, and starting with Caden.
Overall, Luffy had the best three, but they put Robin in a suit, and I'm kind of biased. But it's like Robin in a suit, obviously top tier. Of the casual stuff that they wore in the beginning, I love Zoro's I'm wearing beach shorts and a baseball hat. I loved that because it seems like it's like, oh, he's actually on vacation. He deserves this.
All of their outfits in the beginning, aside from Luffy's, because he had like a random axe. And
I like the axe. Belt. I don't know where it came from, but it feels right for him anyway.
But everybody else in the very beginning felt like they just like spent a day at a water park. Like everybody was in swimsuits. Or like Zoro's got like the kind of like dad outfit. He has a hat on and swim trunks.
Frankie in his like bear trench coat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chopper, his little monkey outfit.
The little monkey was so cute.
Oh, also Frankie's robe has BFB, which I assume means Battle Frankie Bear.
Yeah.
I was a fan of Brooks' antlers, and that was his animal representation.
Yeah.
But I gotta hand it to Roronoa Zoro, a fit so iconic. So they get their VIP outfits, and I had to look back and notice this. They get their VIP outfits, and Zoro's wearing a full suit, but seemingly with a track jacket under his coat.
Yeah.
And all for the reveal at the end of their battle outfits, and Zoro was in it the whole time.
Yes.
And Zoro's look was so iconic as VIPs. The rest of the team went, well, we got to do that because we just have to match him because he's got the best.
Right.
I-
Well, they also
I-
don't have enough time for him to change, so they got to match him. Otherwise,
I-
it's just ridiculous.
Please,
Can
Molly.
I say too that the when they do the like VIP reveal, the song is like looking so good, like
Yeah.
we're going out or whatever, like in English, like like I'm sure it's the same song for the dub, but in the Japanese, it's like a song of in English about like looking good, feeling good, we're going out, and it just like made me laugh so hard because it's just like because of the English, which is like ridiculous. Like they're saying what like very straightforward about what it is.
And-
Luffy's high roller fear and loathing, like glasses and
the
hat.
double hat, the double hat look rules.
His cowboy hat is also a straw hat. Did you guys
Yes.
notice that?
Double
that
straw
made me-
hat.
That made me laugh.
That's a power move. So many
Usopp-
of these outfits were power moves.
Usopp getting the fluffy coat is what he deserves.
Oh no,
Like-
that's a much cooler Rob Lucci look than Rob Lucci's
Yeah,
look.
like it's one of those things where it's
Wore
like,
better.
I want Rob Lucci. We already have Rob Lucci at home, and you get to see Usopp like that. It's like, this is better than I expected.
Yeah.
And then Frankie is
Frankie's
just Elvis
frilly,
in a speedo.
but the frilly shirt line, the frilly neckline, and the thick gold chain.
So
mean,
can I tell you what I thought for that?
Hmm.
So like he's got the red Speedos and the red like collar with the frill and everything like that. I'm imagining him
It's just a
underneath that.
onesie.
Right, it's underneath that. It's just like the male swimsuit onesie, and it's got the frill collar on it. So if he took off the jacket, that's his bathing suit. And it's just like, I would, first of all, fan art immediately. Second of all, it's the most Frankie thing I could think of.
It's just gymnastic leotard with a jacket.
Yeah, and then of course Brooke with the I am a 55-year-old white woman leopard coat is really funny.
Oh, also their disguises, like
Yeah.
for the heist. A couple of cleaning people.
Those are the outfits I didn't like. Those are the ones I hated the most, I think.
Yeah,
'cause they're,
no.
they're not trying. Just
Well, it's
trying
because
to blend.
they're very throwaway.
the montage bit of them being like, here's what we're gonna wear, and like Luffy's in a dress, and like I think Brooks' outfit out of that bunch I liked the most for him was the purple. It's like
With
kind of
the
a
fringe.
Vegas, the kind of Vegas like not magic show, but like one of the show. I can't remember like what it is.
Showgirl?
Yeah, like showgirl
Mhm.
style. I like that one.
It was very good. Like the costume design is usually really on point, but even more so in a city where everybody has to look good and then there are poor people. They really nailed everything.
There were
Yeah,
a
just like
couple
Vegas.
Just like Vegas.
times too, like not even like in terms of outfits, not even just the straw hats that I felt like were nods to like. I mean, there's obviously a lot of American references to like movies and like places and things like that, but there's like the guy, one of the guys in the race, is wearing the same colored shirt as Woody, the farmer.
Yeah,
And
beef.
then there's a
Howdy,
shot
howdy, howdy.
when they're driving into the downtown area where there's a little cowboy neon, and it's in the same colors as Woody as well. And I was just like, I don't know if they looked too far into like like what cowboys wear or like the idealistic of it or whatever, but I noticed that and I was like, there just seems to be a lot of references to Pixar here.
The fact that we saw Wanze,
That was
I'm
funny.
still like, he's like, he probably fell in love with an escort and like,
Yeah,
poor
that was-
guy.
Yeah.
Out of everybody to make an appearance too, I was really surprised by that one.
I hope he got out.
Yeah.
This movie was, I'll be honest, this is probably my favorite One Piece movie aside from the one that everybody should I really want
Baron
that to be-
Omatsuri?
Yeah, Baron Omatsuri needs to be
I
far
mean-
more accessible.
I've talked about this before. I'll say it again. I like just because I was talking about it to a friend before because we were discussing the new movie, One Piece Film Red. There's like the ST, like it's like like SABCD whatever for movies, like untouchable it's up there on the pedestal for a reason. Like Baron is the S tier and no one has come close since.
Yeah.
Like that stays up there by itself, and then from down below that's where like I rank other movies.
Yeah,
this
feel
to
like
me is definitely the best Oda era movie. And that's and to be fair, that's also as somebody who hasn't seen Stampede, which I imagine we'll talk about next.
I without spoiling anything, I enjoyed Stampede a lot more than the other movies. I mean, I will say too, like I enjoyed this movie, but like I still think there were still issues with Film Z. But I don't know. I felt like more engaged with that movie for some reason. Like I love heist movies, but there's just like, because they did everything to the T on like what a heist is, it wasn't as exciting. You know what I mean? It's like it was fun to see them do it, but like the whole point of like the Straw Hats is that they don't stick to the plan, and they still like they don't, like the plan is a different plan at the end, like all heist movies. But like I would have liked for them to do it a little bit more in brand with the Straw Hats for that.
My take on that was they knew that that's how that always works, so they just didn't tell Luffy. And that's why that's why this feels like Nami's movie, because Nami's just like, all right, here's the plan. Rule number 1, don't tell Luffy the plan. Luffy, go over there. Here's some, like, throw a treat in the other direction, and Luffy's just like, meat! And then he runs off. It's like, all right, here's the real plan. We'll tell Luffy whatever. But this is the real plan. And by keeping Luffy out of the loop, the plan is able to actually go according to plan, which is why it feels like Nami's movie, and I feel like that's why I liked it a lot, is because they kept saying, it's like, yeah, we just didn't tell him. And Luffy's just like, what's the plan
for Luffy?
I feel like they could have still done that. Like, this is I'm getting in the nitty gritty, because I've watched so many heist movies that like they still could have done that, but I feel like they could have made it more their own in terms of like when the plan's failing, like have more character moments there of like how to fix, or like stumble along until they think that they're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like it can still have that like we're doing it. The plan failed. Just kidding. It's all going according to Kekaku. Like I feel like there could have been a lot more. I don't know. Like it was because it was so much like a heist movie. It was like, how is this different from any other heist movie that I've seen? You know what I mean? Like I feel like there were opportunities to make it a little bit more fun. Like a lot of the group stuff where they were stumbling along with Nami's group. Like I feel like there could have been a lot more moments in there that would have just sold it a little bit better for me. Because otherwise, it's like they did the assignment, but you know what I mean? It's like, but like you based it too much off of the examples for the assignment that you didn't make it your own. Because it's like, that's the thing too. I was just like, they're like, haha, you're in debt. I'm like, you can't apply real life rules to Luffy. Like they could, like, as far as you know, like Luffy's got like 10 credit cards. like having debt is not going to stop Luffy. You know what I mean? Like this is the guy who eats and runs. Like you can't apply these things to him. When they took Zoro, I was like, all right, now you're thinking with portals. Like
I also feel like the story that they were specifically telling was in direct combat with Luffy's basic beliefs about freedom, and it's something that he's been saying since anytime somebody's asked him, like, oh, you want to be the king of the pirates because of the, like, all of the treasure and notoriety that comes with it, right?
And power,
and he's like,
fame.
No, just the king of the pirates is the most free person on the sea.
Yeah, I just kind of want to be not owned by other people or beholden to anything in particular. I just want to like be and exist. And when other people don't have that, he gets pretty.
And the second that became the theme was Gildmember wasn't taking people's money; he was taking their freedom. That was the thing of like, oh, I mean, it's a One Piece movie, and you kind of know how it's going to end, but you can kind of know from the jump. It wasn't just a thing where Luffy wants to kick this guy's ass because he wants to kick a lot of people's ass, but he is in direct opposition. He's in direct opposition to Luffy's principles, and that made the interactions a little bit more interesting. But I definitely agree with you, Molly. This is like a paint by numbers heist movie, improved by the fact that it is a One Piece movie, but it is still a paint by numbers heist movie.
It's tropes of both blended.
I mean, it's like, I'm sure it's very exciting for like a Japanese audience who might not know, like have seen so many heist movies that are like pretty common here. But like, I think if they had split up and like kind of like in the formulaic way of like splitting up, and then those people see more of like the struggles of like, it'd be easy to like team up with like Karina is one team, like somebody splits off and they like are with the kids who are in so much debt and can't fight back, and like a different team here and a different team there. Like I think it would have come together a little bit better for me. But I mean, like, and that's saying like there's so many like fun moments in this movie. It's just like I think we talked about it last time when other directors come into a One Piece movie and do things that like we don't normally see in One Piece, like little vignettes or like what the day-to-day is with the Straw Hats. Because in the manga, it's going from one place to the other. Sometimes we'll have a middle reprieve, and in like recent years, like Oda uses that reprieve to explain what else is happening in the world. Like I was hoping for like a little bit more character moments in this movie, but like that being said, the fact that they didn't do that, there was more time to pace, and it's like we're starting to get into longer movies now, so they had like extra time to kind of like unveil what was happening and like why do we care and this and that.
And I think that actually you bring up a very good point. I think the thing that they wanted us to take away from this was how strongly Luffy is in terms of fighting for people's freedoms, in terms of like what's coming next post Dressrosa. Because theoretically this takes place in between Dressrosa and Zoe at some point, even though the crew isn't actually together. But in terms of like story stuff, this is definitely before what happens after Zoe because of like the props and abilities of everybody. But just in terms of where Luffy stands and everybody's steadfastness and belief in Luffy, I think that's what we were supposed to take. And also how, well, I guess we also got a lesson of how the government can't be bought, how wantonly CP0 treats the Marines. Being able to pay off the Celestial Dragons to essentially have carte blanche like they do, that's pretty insane.
There was some stuff that they brought up in this movie that I had to sit and think like, why are they telling us this? And I had to be like, okay, well, when do they introduce this information normally in the manga? Like, is it because Oda had been using the movies, in the previous one for sure, of like setting up like, oh, you didn't know about Aokiji? Like, here he is, like, hottie with the pipes. Like, it's like they're kind of talking about the aftermath of his fight with Akainu. And a lot of the stuff they introduced in this movie, I was just like, this is common knowledge, but it's weird that they're adding emphasis on it. And so I was like, is this the first time that they mentioned this stuff? Like, I had to think about it for a while. But yeah, there was a lot of that too. Also, like, we see another female Marine, but like, it's like a one-shot thing. Like, I don't think we see her again.
I used to know her name, but they actually made her and the guy that she was at the casino with canon.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. The fans loved their design so much that they've been partners for like a really long time in canon, and Oda has since added them into the anime, and then I think they were added into the manga more recently.
That's awesome.
But
there's a lot of vignettes in this movie that I enjoy, like the scenes when they're all gambling and winning. Like they like it's all these great setup shots too. Where what's the one where like the ball is on the like the track? It's like red and black. Roulette. It's like when they show the roulette table and then they zoom out and you realize that it's a giant and like they're on a giant roulette table. Like there was a lot of fun moments like that in this movie.
Well, they had the sound effects be like so loud and booming. It's like, oh, they just did this for drama. No, it's actually a colossal roulette ball
and giant craps with iron dice and an iron you destroy a giant iron cup every game,
every roll.
Like, oh my god! Hopefully, they're just like reworking those and making new cups from the pieces.
I mean, the dude has an entire ship that is an island of gold. Do you think he cares? No.
Oh, no.
That dude pollutes constantly.
Mhm.
Like, did they even shake those dice? Like, come on.
No, it's
They
all
threw him into the
well,
cup and then threw it down.
So
That's
that's
not, you gotta.
so that was my whole thing. Like the one thing I thought of is it's like, of course, I before the whole luck fruit thing was introduced for Baccarat. I originally thought it's like, okay, cool. You literally introduced a character that can go through things with Tanaka, and there's a giant thing that we can't see what the dice is inside. It's like just to not have Tanaka go inside, flip the dice to the die to the side that makes them lose, and then get out. And it's like ta-da! And it's like even without Baccarat, they probably have been cheating for a long time with just that.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, it is what it is. It's like they've been manipulating the situation. All you have to do is wait for them to say everything on odd. And it's like, okay, cool. Flip it to even. Done. And then just zip
We
out.
did it.
They'll never know because like, oh, that's why you have to. It's like, see, it's safe. It's all inside the thing. That way nobody could know. It's like, yeah, except for the dude who can go through walls who brought us here. Jerk.
Yeah, it's funny too, like just because we're talking about her. I love that like the same stance has been consistent throughout, but like the fact that like Usopp is always the one versus women, like Sanji and Zoro will like never actually fight women, but like Usopp's like, nah, man, like I'm a feminist, like equal opportunity. Like it's always Usopp who fights the woman if like Nami and Robin aren't around, and I love that for him.
What a galaxy brain. So
Yes.
we haven't really mentioned anything about Baccarat. I think all of the devil fruits in the movie are super fun. Tanaka's phase fruit, but Baccarat being luck based is
Really
so
Luck-based powers are probably my favorite form of powers when writers get a hold of them, because you can just luck means different things to everyone. So
and if you're
you can transfer it.
if you're listening to if you haven't watched the movie yet and you're an hour into this show, like Domino, but she can control it. She can suck luck from people, put it in, imbue it into other objects, and then just be the luckiest person. And Usopp's galaxy brain way to make her run out of luck was so dumb.
Oh, good.
And I don't want to say it exactly, but it was like anytime Baccarat was on screen, it's the great performance of just like, all right, I know that you work for the villain, but you're also being kind of an asshat. and what are you gonna do? How much more can you trick these people?
She's kind of mean. Kind of love her.
I did love her whole aesthetic though, where like the very first thing she'd always say was an English phrase, like "no good, oh wow,
Amazing,
like, yeah,
fantastic."
That was like the one thing I liked about her. I was just like, all right, I guess they're kind of selling she's American or like or English or something, and then just like, all right, well she can't just be speaking English the whole movie. We got to go. She got to be speaking Japanese. But
I did like in a similar vein. I like how it's entertainment constantly being in English
entertainment
was important.
Now that's what I call
It's
entertainment.
always with his arms as wide as possible.
Ugh.
This is a show for you.
Oh, the very last shot of her being defeated and her saying jackpot, she's like jackpot, but she's saying it with Japanese kids like jackpot, like
and then like passing out.
When that scene was going on, it goes on for so long. I was like, man, she's milking this scene.
Hey, if you're gonna die, go out in a blaze of glory, right?
If you're
It's
gonna
like,
And especially her in
Go out
style.
milking?
yeah,
Wait.
he's gotta go.
Nope.
Oh, also
just because. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you first, please, because I'm
No,
about to
just-
change the subject.
Okay. No, just listening to Al make jokes. I'm just like, it's because like it's jackpot in English, like just jackpot. But the fact that it's like she adds so many additional syllables to like keep the camera on her. Jackpot. All right, go ahead.
Eat it up, dear. This I don't
Go
know
on,
if
give
I've
us
been
nothing.
as captivated by an opening scene in a One Piece movie than this one. Like the fact that we started just boom, and we because usually we start with the Straw Hats arriving or figuring something out, but the fact that we start in the city and learn so much just through this one performance, as well as uh, the long pirates. But we also get an allusion to the Treasure Island pirate battle show that used to happen multiple times a night on the strip. I just
Did they stop that?
Yeah, Caden, we could talk about it later. Oh my god.
Is it bad now? Because it used to be great.
Have you not heard of the Sirens of TI?
Dude, I have not been back there since I was like a kid. Because
we'll talk about it later because dear God.
Don't go to Vegas, anybody, everybody. Don't go to Vegas. Literally, if you here's the takeaway from One Piece Film Gold, okay? If you go there, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same thing. You go there, you're greeted by somebody who's just like, yeah, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry. And they're manipulating you from the moment you step there to the moment you leave, trying to milk every cent out of you and make you penniless and poor, and then make you stay in Vegas and then work for shit wages. And it's just how that city works. And One Piece Film Gold encapsulated the whole thing perfectly. So if you want to go to Vegas, just watch One Piece Film Gold. You'll get the full experience, and you'll get to see the elite get punched in the face and then have all of their stuff taken away from them. So do that instead. It's much
pretty
more
good
fun.
Restaurants though. Anyway, but
yeah, they're pretty good. Food's amazing.
Starting with a song like co-sung by our villain. I'm a big fan of outrageous set pieces. Especially in anime, because at least with something like this it could be something that's all controlled by his devil fruit. It just reminded me of a recent scene from Gundam Witch from Mercury where it just got so silly, but that first scene told us everything we needed to know about Guild to hate him. And I was in it from the jump. I was at the edge of my seat.
A very punchable face. Like, he needs to keep those sunglasses on, dude. I'm telling you.
Like, clearly bleached platinum hair, or like, I think when in the flashbacks it looked green, so it's like it's graying out.
Yeah.
He's an old rich man.
He has the energy of Crocodile. Like, there's something about like the fingers,
that's what it was.
The fingers with rings, and like his height, and like even his like body type. Like, it had a lot of, he's like almost like in temperament like a different Crocodile. Like, whereas Crocodile it's like the drama masks. It's like one's frowny and one's smiley. Thanks, Al.
This is Smiley Crocodile.
You're never supposed to smile at one of the anyway.
Which is funny because it's like, I feel like, I mean, because that's what was my first thought, was like Mugiwara had never seen a casino before, but then I was like, well, no, Alabasta, like that was his whole shtick. It was like the casinos, and it was like a taste of that. So then, yeah, when I remembered that, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's just like a Crocodile ripoff. Anyway,
respectfully,
he got a bunch of turtle themed stuff instead,
and the thickest neck.
I like the turtles; they're cute.
They're cute. They're very
the
cute.
Giant ones that are pulling the city.
Yeah, and then the little muscle turtles.
Well, even that
adorable.
though, because like Robin had a turtle during the Alabasta arc. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? Similar themes. And I think it's really funny too, because like Dofi is like always been kind of like weirdly obsessed with Crocodile, and like the fact that Gold also has had dealings with Doflamingo, I'm like, oh yeah, he's got a type, dude.
Yeah,
obviously. This guy obviously has a type.
Yeah,
reptiles.
I think we've done a really good job of not being super specific, talking about some of our favorite moments. Before we start wrapping up, I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to just gush. And Molly, since you're volunteering, please.
It's just one bit that I like really loved, but like when Frankie and Luffy get to the security room, And Luffy like gives Frankie the thumbs up. And Frankie's like, "You idiot!" And then he like cuts back, and the security guard's staring at him. He's just staring with this thumbs up. And then we cut to like all the screens showing him across like the island or the ship rather. Like that bit really got me.
I was head in hands. I was like, of course you did.
All the bits, and it goes on for like a full minute. I'm just like, yep, that's me energy.
That's
it.
Molly energy to
Yeah.
the T.
I'm like, I can't
Here
do
I go.
I can't do sneaky games at all either. So the fact that they had Luffy doing some kind of reconnaissance. Oh, and then also them leading up to that, where they're like, all right, Luffy, we got to go by the window, but be careful because we'll be seen. And they go past that window like 20 times. And like everyone's like gradually like looking and seeing them. And the fact that Frankie had a fart boost them up was like everybody saw that. It was
It's an
just,
explosion sound rattles the window as they fly.
Nobody, they're rich people. They'll pretend the fart wasn't there. It's totally great.
Also, a well-lit gold tower in the middle of the city.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the
where we've already established that Video Den Mushi are everywhere.
Yeah,
That
they
was,
totally
like,
didn't see it.
That was literally the moment that I was like, they obviously have a plan that like they are hoping this plan will fail immediately because it's like for them to have a whole bit that like they're like, we can't have people see us, Luffy. Okay, and like they get seen like so many times with the same people, and there's no repercussions.
Frankie had a
to that.
balaclava on. There's no way to tell who that is.
Yeah, but it's like the fact that there was no immediate retribution for that. I was like, yeah, there's obviously another plan in play here. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, okay. Or like, you know, he's just letting them go all the way to the security office because he already knows what's gonna happen. Blah blah blah. But yeah, the part where Luffy is like giving the thumbs up with his like they usually give him eyelashes for those like for those moments, but like I think it's because he was wearing goggles they didn't, but like that kind of dead eye stare where he's like, oops, like uh-oh, I'm caught. And not knowing what to do, so he just sits there.
I loved when Team B was going up the tower, they I guess minor spoilers, they disguise themselves as someone else. And Usopp's impression of the person he's disguising himself as, he has only one data point about them, is that they wiggle their head when they talk.
And yet completely nails it.
Yeah, this is so good.
That was silly.
And also just the final fight is so hype.
Dude,
Like,
I was gonna say, like the gold mech, but it also kind of looks like a JoJo stand.
mm-hmm.
Like, let's go.
It's very reminiscent of Pika.
The JoJo stand meets Pika meets like Big O. Like it's so good.
I don't know. I really liked I really liked just the whole movie was just really great, honestly. Like from start to finish, it was really cool to how they set everything up, how they took Zoro out of commission immediately because they know that like logically it's like if they leave Zoro here, then it's just like, okay, cool. The movie's gonna go nowhere if we just leave Zoro in this.
It was funny to see like Zoro be the damsel because they needed Nami for
it was nice. It was nice to have that, especially because Zoro's like OP as heck, and you need Luffy there because obviously.
Well, you also can't use Zoro for a heist. Like you give him a plan, he's not going to know where to go.
Listen. You can't get lost if you get captured immediately.
It's true.
Exactly.
You're already there where you need to be if that's the case.
And exactly where he is.
We also know that Zoro is cool with dying as a statue in a cool pose.
Yeah, we do. We do know that.
I was gonna bring that up. Where like I mean, it's like he's grown or whatever, but like I wish they would have given him a moment where he posed himself out, like he did in the Alabasta saga arc, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that was my first thought, Mark, when that scene played out. I was like, oh, that's really funny.
It's like you messed up in a bunch of ways.
Yeah.
He wants this.
You just helped him get to you faster. He wouldn't have gotten here otherwise.
You know, there was another moment that I feel like they didn't ever really put emphasis on, but like I had that same thought too, where I'm like, this guy clearly can control gold. I was thinking in terms of like X-Men with Magneto, where like absorbing substances like iron and things like that, like out of someone's body. The part where Gold pours out his champagne, there's a shot where they close up on it on the ground, and you can see that there's like a sliver of gold in the food, like in the glass.
Mhm.
And so, like, when he finally is like, "Oh, idiot! Like, your bodies are covered in gold." I was waiting for him to be like, "Also, the food you've been consuming also has gold in it as like a contingency or something." But they never kind of bring it up again.
Yeah, I mean, as it was raining gold, I went, "Welp, that's the insurance policy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, don't breathe that shit in, man. That's not good for you.
Yeah, it's definitely not good. You really don't want to do that.
Isn't it inert? Does it like?
What did you call me?
There's not even like a benefit or detriment to eating gold because your body just doesn't react to it. You're just like,
No,
adding...
it passes the same way it came in.
Yeah.
No, but I just mean like in terms of like if like you dodged the gold shower and you had like a drink that had gold in it, like
for
you know,
sure.
it's like I forget which X-Men movie it is, but like Magneto escapes jail because someone like
You have
injected
more
iron.
in your blood.
Yeah, well, like because they injected iron into that guy.
X2 X-Men. It's X2 when he gets out.
So, thank you. So I was expecting that
Oh, no,
kind of
wait.
moment where it
No,
was
it's
like
X2.
It was X2. Okay.
I was expecting that kind of moment where it was like, "Ha, idiot!" Especially because they knew that the ocean water, seawater, could negate the devil fruit effect. I was waiting for somebody to be like, "Ha, idiot!" Like I didn't come in that way, and like I know your secret. And then for him to be like, you know, like Darth Vader-esque, like holds his hand out as the guy starts choking because there's gold in his like stomach.
No, Molly, this is a kid show. They're gonna have somebody strangled to death under a melted then solidified gold chandelier.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
normal.
publicly executed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty normal, right?
gold splash.
I would have directed this movie a little bit different, but that's fine. I said that about every movie at this point except for Baron.
This was a very fun movie.
Definitely.
I'm happy that I got to watch it for the first time with all of y'all.
Yeah.
And
I'm really, it's like as much as you guys enjoyed this movie, I am actually really hyped to talk about Stampede next.
Same. No, like knowing what little I know about Stampede, like
So-
I imagine it's going to be super, super hype.
So when do we watch Stampede? For the folks at home who are eagerly awaiting our next episode of Yayo Talk Show, when are we watching Stampede?
It should be after this next arc.
Okay.
Yes.
So after this next arc, which is probably going to be 2 episodes?
Maybe 2, because we had originally talked about it being 3, and then we did Dressrosa in 2. So I believe that I think 2 would be conservative.
And you know me, I'm not going to want to talk about Sanji at all. So,
But then again, we
was
did do. Then again, we
Yeah.
did do.
So
well, that's because there were furries. Of course, I'm going to talk for 2
Oh, no,
hours.
I was talking about the Paramount War, how that became 3 episodes.
Well, that's because there was old men there. Of course, Molly's going to talk about old men.
I feel
I mean,
like
when you're right, you're right.
consistently, whenever we say it's for sure going to be this length, it's always the opposite of what we say.
Well, this is the
At
Sanji
least
one, so
2.
you know.
I'm gonna say Whole Cake is gonna be so many episodes so that we do it in like 2. It's gonna be so we're just gonna have so many things to talk about, so many.
You're already damning us.
No,
It would be
the opposite.
4
It's gonna go
episodes
quick.
later.
No, it's gonna go quick. It's gonna go so quick. You have no idea.
It's gonna be like a drive-through. Yeah, Sanji, he died in this arc. Can you believe it? Okay,
Oh my
anyway.
god. No spoilers though.
Last thoughts on the movie?
It's worth its weight in gold.
Hey, I don't think we can do any better than that. So, before we go, everybody, if you can give where anybody can find you on the Webternet, let's start with you, Caden.
Okay, cool. Hey, you can find me on Instagram, on Tumblr, and on Hive, and it's at Caden Jensen. You can also find me on TikTok, where I'm regularly uploading videos now, and that's Real, R-E-A-L, Caden Jensen. And of course, you can find me streaming all the time on Twitch, and that's twitch.tv/Caden Jensen.
Al, how about you?
You can find me basically everywhere, including now Hive and Mastodon at Al McClelland Jr. That's
And TikTok, not TikTok, and Twitch,
yes.
Twitch,
And
Twitch.
Oh God. Also that.
And Twitch Doc. It's new. It's TikTok, but for Twitch.
Oh no, there's another. Oh god. That's at Al McClelland Jr. ALMCCLELLANDJR. Good luck.
You can find me on Hive and Twitch and Instagram at Mark B. Donica. How about you, Kevin?
I think at this point, I think it's just Tumblr. I think that's my current stance. Like, find me on Tumblr, Molly K Flood, depending on what you're looking for. There might be the occasional tweet. I highly doubt it, but if you want to find me on Twitter, it's TEHFLOOD. But yeah, I think I'm set in my ways, you guys. I think I politely ask people to come to me to Tumblr because we're dating this episode, but like with all of the current stuff going on, I think I've always been on Tumblr and I always will be. I'll die on Tumblr. Just find me there.
You, me, and Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that there will be.
Yeah, and
and then we'll make our own show. You, me, and Neil Gaiman. It's my Molly, my Gaiman, and me.
Well, going along with how most movies in the One Piece world end, now that you've listened to the episode, you've joined our crew. With that comes the responsibility of telling your friends, leaving a comment, following us all over social media at Yayo Talk Show, and letting Caden watch the show and movies in One Piece. So come aboard and we'll see you next time on Yayo Talk Show.
I love gold.
I love gold.
Damn it. Because of what you said about the hot tub, Caden, do we call this episode Gildmember?
Oh no. I feel like that's kind of perfect.
Gildmember it is.
Wait,
We did it.
ask, what's the guild?
His name?
portion?
His name
is Gold.
No,
Gild.
it's Gild Tesoro. Because
Oh.
gilded.
The
Yes.
version I watched called him Gold.
No.
What?
It's Guild.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's why I
it's
kept calling
Guild.
him Gold. That's why I kept
Guild,
calling him
no.
Gold. All right then.
We're leaving this in now.
Talking about
One Piece.